The journey of the Israelites after their miraculous crossing of the Red Sea is a story of trials, faith, and God's guidance through the wilderness. Here's a chronological narration of their journey, highlighting key events as they moved through the wilderness in the first stages of their long journey toward the Promised Land. This account is based on the narrative in the books of Exodus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. The Exodus begins from the Red Sea to the wilderness of Shur. The Israelites have just been delivered from the clutches of Pharaoh's army at the Red Sea. As the waters crash down behind them, the people of Israel are now free but faced with the uncertainty of the vast desert before them. Their first stop is the wilderness of Shur, Exodus 15:22. Here they travel for 3 days without finding water, and when they do find water at Marah, it's bitter. They complain against Moses, but God miraculously makes the water drinkable by showing Moses a tree, which he throws into the water. The people are refreshed and they camp at Elim, where there are 12 springs and 70 palm trees, Exodus 15:27. The manna and quail, a journey of trust. As they continue their journey into the wilderness of sin, the Israelites begin to grumble. They remember the food they had in Egypt and complain to Moses that they have been brought out to the wilderness to die of hunger. In response, God provides manna, a fine, flaky substance like dew on the ground, every morning. Along with the manna, God sends quail in the evening for meat, Exodus 16. The people are instructed to gather enough for each day, but not more, except on the 6th day, when they gather twice as much to prepare for the Sabbath. This act of daily provision is a test of obedience and trust in God's provision. Water from the rock at Rephidim. After a month of traveling, the Israelites reach Rephidim, but there is no water. They quarrel with Moses again, questioning why they were brought out of Egypt. Once again, God commands Moses to strike a rock at Horeb, and from it, water pours forth for the people to drink. This miracle takes place at a place called Massa, meaning testing, and Meribah, meaning quarreling, due to the people's constant complaints, Exodus 17:1-7. The battle against the Amalekites. While still at Rephidim, the Israelites are attacked by the Amalekites. Moses commands Joshua to lead the Israelites into battle. Meanwhile, Moses stands on a hill with the staff of God in his hands. When Moses holds up his hands, the Israelites prevail, but when his hands grow tired and fall, the Amalekites gain the advantage. Aaron and Hur help Moses by holding up his hands until sunset, and with God's help, Israel defeats the Amalekites. This victory marks the first of many battles for the Israelites as they journey through the wilderness, Exodus 17:8-16. The Israelites at Mount Sinai, the covenant and the law. The Israelites finally arrive at Mount Sinai, the very place where Moses had encountered God in the burning bush. Here God gives Moses the 10 Commandments, Exodus 19-20, and establishes a covenant with the people of Israel. They are instructed to prepare for 3 days before meeting with God at the mountain. The people witness thunder, lightning, and the sound of a trumpet as God descends on the mountain. They are terrified, but God speaks directly to Moses, giving him laws for the people to follow. Moses then ascends the mountain to receive further instructions. The golden calf, a test of faith. While Moses is on the mountain, the people grow restless. They demand that Aaron make them a god to worship, and in a moment of weakness, Aaron creates a golden calf. The people worship it, and God tells Moses to return to the camp in anger. When Moses sees the people sin, he smashes the tablets containing the commandments in frustration. He calls for those who are faithful to God to come to him, and the Levites answer. They are told to go through the camp and execute judgment on those who have led the rebellion. About 3,000 people are killed. Moses then returns to God to intercede for the people, and God shows mercy by not destroying them entirely, Exodus 32. The Tabernacle instructions and the renewed covenant. After this incident, Moses goes back up the mountain for a second time. God gives him new tablets and reaffirms his covenant with Israel. Detailed instructions are given for the construction of the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary where God's presence will dwell with his people. Exodus 33-40. The people are instructed to build the tabernacle using the offerings they have brought. The cloud of God's presence, the Shekinah glory, descends upon the tabernacle, signifying God's approval and his continued presence with the Israelites. Journey through the wilderness, the camps and movement. As the Israelites continue their journey through the wilderness, they set up camp in various locations. The book of Numbers provides a detailed account of these camps, listing all the places where they stopped and the various challenges they faced. Notable places include Kadesh Barnea, where they send spies into the Promised Land, and Mount Hor, where Aaron dies, and his son Eleazar becomes the high priest, Numbers 20-21. The Israelites experience rebellions, divine judgments, and further provision from God. At Kadesh Barnea, the 12 spies are sent to scout the land, and the majority bring back a bad report, causing the people to rebel. As a result, God punishes them, saying that they will wander in the wilderness for 40 years until that entire generation has passed away. Numbers 13-14. Only Joshua and Caleb, the two faithful spies, will enter the Promised Land. The final stages, a new generation. The journey through the wilderness is long and difficult, but it also serves to prepare the Israelites for the land God promised to their ancestors. Along the way, Moses teaches them the laws, and they experience further tests of faith. The book of Deuteronomy records Moses' final speeches to the people as they prepare to enter Canaan. With Moses' death approaching, the Israelites are on the verge of crossing into the Promised Land, and God appoints Joshua as the new leader to guide them into their inheritance. The Israelites' journey through the wilderness is a profound journey of learning to trust God, facing hardships, and experiencing his miraculous provision. Despite their grumbling and rebellion, God remains faithful to his promises, leading them step by step to the brink of the Promised Land. The lessons learned in the wilderness would shape the nation of Israel for generations to come, and the journey itself would become a defining moment in their history as God's chosen people.